Okay, so this is not a thing where I can just jump right into ranked again, because it is currently unavailable, as you can see here. This was the Gundam Evolution playtest. Obviously, I now have enough videos that I can make its own playlist for it, and you'll be able to see it there in the Heroics Random Newest to Oldest and the Heroics Random playlist. Anyway, something I wanted to say. So, my thoughts on this playtest. In the beginning, when I felt like I was fighting people who were of my skill level, and it was evenly matched matches, it was a lot of fun. However, much like in games like Overwatch, TF2, and even MOBAs like League and Smite, as well as Pokemon Unite, there comes a very, very steep curve you have to hit. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you have to be getting insane amounts of practice with your chosen mobile suits or Gundams, and you have to know them. You have to know their ins and outs. I guess if I were to compare this to, again, the MOBAs, it's like playing several standard matches with your favorite-looking champs, so you understand how well they go together with certain other champions, what they can do, their strengths or weaknesses, and of course you plan and plot around that. This also includes how your playstyle is. For the units they had available to us, I think it was neat to see Pale Rider alongside these other models, mostly due to the fact that Pale Rider was a very popular pick for me in choice of pieces for New Breaker. I was also very happy to see Zaku here, as well as the Sazabi. Barbados was an unexpected pick, as well as Exia, but I'm happy they did include both of them. And Turn A was a very, very random pick in my opinion, but in terms of just overall flashiness, I understand why it was put in. Guntank was another shocker in terms of the bland mobile suit side of things, because of just the fact that Guntank was never really made an impression, and it may just be because of the Gundam animes that I watched. As far as generic things that they put in here, I was happy to see the GM, the Marasai, the Methus, the GM Sniper 2, the Ashimar, and the Doms. The Doms were fun to see. The Doms are kind of expected, though, because Doms were like... If you know Gundam, you know the Dom. You know the Dom, you know the Zaku, you know the GMs, right? So I'd argue those were like flagship ones. Same thing with Gundam, with Gundam, or Gundam RX-78, as I keep calling it. The combat was very smooth. There was a lot that I feel like, and it might just be a me thing, but I feel like some of the hits could be. I feel like they lose something upon impact, and I'm not asking for particle effects to show me that I'm hitting the thing, or again, like for Exia, I'm not asking to see Exia's blades in the Gundam or in the mobile suit, but I kind of want them to have a little bit more punch. And maybe it's just because I feel like Barbados's swings and Exia's swings were just so impactful. Same thing with Gundam's mace, and I don't know. I want you all to know my overall opinion is that it's a great game, and I'm super looking forward to it. But when it comes to how some of these guys played, I kind of did not. I don't know. I feel like they lacked something for me. At least the ones that I tried. It may just be because I'm not in tune with those types of models, or again, it's just not how I play. I'm sure if people were to describe me when it comes to these team games, I'll give you an insight to my type of personality. I was a Pyro main in TF2. So I'm a very close to mid-range fighter, and I guess maybe a lot of my choices weren't close to mid-range, or didn't give me that feel of close to mid-range that I normally like. Like, Pyro, for me, is he's very much something that I like. A nice big cone in front of me, so I know I'm guaranteed to hit something. Sidearm is a shotgun, or the flare, which again, nice circular hitbox. And then, of course, the melee option always worked well in tandem with your other things. I sometimes feel like some of the skills were too detached for the sake of being there. Like, again, the Zaku having his Heat Hawk Slash as part of his ultimate, you know. Like, okay, yeah, that's cool and all, but like a cracker grenade and a smoke dispenser, I don't remember seeing any clips of that. And again, it may just be because I had never watched the series. But for Exia especially, the fact that they made him a ranged unit by having him toss the GN beam daggers, I don't recall him really ever doing that in the show. He was always up close and fighting with the rest of them. Most range stuff was left to Hallelujah, Tiaria, and Terra. Terra, I think it was Tiaria. And of course, Dynamax. Or, I'm sorry, Dynamis. And I was more expecting Dynamis over the GM Sniper, but again, very welcome. So, for Exia to be a, like, almost ninja-like one, instead of a speedy, like, hit-and-run master, was very strange to me. I'm sure some of their choices they're gonna, like, take to heart, you know, our feedback, and figure out ways to change things, you know. Maybe this is not how we're gonna see things, you know. And I do hope to see some changes with this core roster we have here, but I'm also excited to see who gets added in next. Personal little wish list here. I'd like the impact of certain skills to be polished up. I'd like there to be a wider variety of options of, like, mobile suits in terms of, like, all series. And I would definitely love for more melee-focused mobile suits as well. With maybe, like, more ability to, like, block out stuff, but to be, like, greater disruptors, you know. Barbados and Exia are good disruptors in terms of melee, but they're, like, our only two melee air quotes. And really, of that, only Barbados is, like, the true go-in ham sandwich with your hammer. Everyone else was, like, a beam weapon or like, some form of close to mid-range gun combat. I would also like to see more representatives from across the Gundam verse. G-Gundam was a very big one for me. Despite my dislike of it, Seed as well could do well with some representation here. They have plenty of units that have, like, flight capabilities and transformation. I'm also gonna say, and this might be, I hope it's not controversial, but some of the Build Fighter Gundams from the animes that are, like, focused on the building of the models, I hope those make it in here. That would be very interesting to see, like, or even if it's just as a skin, I wouldn't mind seeing it, like a twisted version of Turn A that had, like, on right, because, you know, the people in the show might have fixed that, air quotes. Unicorn's another interesting one I think could be here. And, of course, I'm hoping that a lot of the Wing series makes it in as well. If not just for me, for Jamer's sake. Because I tell you right now, he will be a Death Cypher Wing main. Even the Heavy Arms main. Heavy Arms would fit into this game perfectly, actually. Considering we have the friggin' Gun Tank and his guns. But, yeah. So, closing thoughts. Game's good. I'm excited for it. I hope they do a lot to fine-tune things and make it fun. I really do hope that Ranked isn't the only mode if they do another playtest next. I'd like to be matched with more than just people of my rank, because sometimes there are people who are there, unfortunately, and people who aren't. And I was really feeling that when I was playing earlier and with Jamer. But until this playtest comes back, you will be seeing maybe some form of Gundam on the channel. And until this one comes out officially, I just want to say thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you if you do. So if I just want to say, laters.